Do you remember this guy, African reporter who heckled Psaki? He didn't heckle her. He was demanding to be heard, and they don't ever call on him. So this is what happened. Here, I'll play it for you.
Thank you. That's on the issue of the formula.
So this is on her final press conference, and the guy in the back of the room who never gets called on says, "Why don't you call from someone from Africa? Why don't you call on a reporter from the Global South finally? Why don't you do that?" And they all the nice white people tell him to shut up.
Can I ask you a question from the back?
Please stop.
I understand, but for 15 months,
Please show to
on
the issue of formula.
and I'm saying that for the sake of equity, we should
First of all,
have
thank you for your
pressure
service,
on
and thank you for your husband for his service as well.
So as this guy's trying to get a question, she's telling him to shut up, this other reporter, and then she thanks her for thank you for your service. A reporter is thanking a professional liar for her service, because that's what the press secretary is. Duh. Go ahead, Kurt.
It's even more impactful, muffled through a mask.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for your service.
On the issue of formula, I think, if anything, this crisis has reminded everyone that this
Simon, if you could respect your colleagues and other media and reporters in here, that would be greatly appreciated. Go ahead, Mary.
If anything, sir, please, if anything, this has reminded, I think, the entire country and the world that this is not a luxury item, but an essential. Thank you.
A what item?
I don't know, but that's what happened. And the African journalist who interrupted Jen Psaki's final White House press briefing earlier this month says the financial processing company Stripe is cutting off his publication's income. So we use Stripe at our website. So they're all evil. PayPal is evil. Stripe is evil. Patreon, also evil. They're controlled by billionaires who can cut off your money if you say something they don't like. And so that guy stood up, and they didn't like it, and so they took his way to make money away. Today News Africa correspondent Simon Ateba provided the Post with copies of messages informing him that his website's offer of a lifetime subscription for $1,490 violated Stripe's company's policies, and therefore he'd have to start from scratch with another payment processor. Yeah. The Cameroon-born Ateba claimed his publication is being treated almost worse than criminals due to the blowback from Psaki's final briefing May 13th, and added that he finds it suspicious that he's being booted from the platform soon after having drawn outrage for interrupting Psaki on her last day on the job. Stripe's decision is a serious blow to Ateba's 7-year-old publication, which relies on subscriptions rather than ad revenue. Ateba says that while other companies process payments, Stripe's platform is the industry standard and is used by other news sites. It's really sad. It's heartbreaking. I don't even know where to start. So this is how they silence you. This is how they keep you in line. That's why they want to get you on a digital ID so they can turn off your money whenever you do something that you step out of line. They call you a terrorist, and then they cut off your money. Oh, he's protesting for climate change. He's an environmental. He's an eco-terrorist. That's what they call you, and they cut off your money. So that's what they're doing to him. So this is the billionaire, how they control the money. There's only certain way you can't get your. There's only a couple of banks that process fucking money in this country. Hose Natalie, chairman of Today News, Africa's Board of Advisors, said in a statement provided, "We may now have no choice but to go out of business." He's 42 years old, and he founded Today's News Africa in 2015 and burst onto the national stage in the U.S. late last year with his persistent questioning during briefings. He often sits in White House press rooms, seats left vacant by their assigned occupant, often Time magazine. He then loudly shouts questions which sometimes are answered. Most journalists in the rare half of the White House briefing room sit politely without getting called on for weeks or months. And some news outlets with permanent seats haven't gotten called on at full capacity briefing in a year. A notable contrast with Ateba, whose voice routinely can be heard booming as TV journalists take turns dominating briefings by asking a half dozen or so questions apiece. Ateba often raises questions about concerns for Africans. such as about U.S. funding to fight malaria or about temporary protected status for citizens of various African nations living in the U.S. But he also shouts one question that other journalists may be less inclined to pose. At Psaki's final briefing, however, earned Ateba the ire of the White House Correspondents Association, which threatened to yank his associate membership in response to his unusually disruptive demand that Psaki call on reporters farther back in the room. Many journalists saw the outburst as distasteful because it stole the show from Psaki.
Oh, my God.
Who had just emotionally spoken about her looming exit.
Ugh.
Again, we're supposed to worry about a powerful person's feelings. This is fucking crazy.
Well,
I'm supposed to worry about Taylor Lorenz's feelings, and I'm supposed to worry about Jen Psaki's feelings. Hey, fuck your feelings. Fuck Jen Psaki's feelings.
First of all, did you notice the thing that he was interrupting? That's why I asked what that reporter at the Mass was saying, because she wasn't asking a question. She was just...
She was saying thank you for your service. Yeah, she's going down on Jen Psaki.
And he interrupted it. And then Jen Psaki's the one who's like, we encourage people to go to outside the Supreme Court Justice House.
Right.
And, like, that's okay, but you can't loudly ask a question of a person whose job it is to answer that.
Yeah, she thinks it's okay to go personally to Supreme Court justices' homes, private homes, but it's not okay to loudly ask a question from the back of the room, someone you've been ignoring. Many journalists saw the outburst as distasteful because it stole the show from Psaki, who had just emotionally spoken about her looming exit. Though others, frustrated about essentially serving as human furniture each briefing, quietly expressed support. In their Monday email to Ateba, Stripe rep said, we're unable to work with any business that we believe poses elevated financial risk or violates our own policies. In this case, after a thorough review of your account, we have determined that your business falls within these guidelines. This decision is final, and in order to protect our processes, we are unable to provide further details regarding the reason for your account's closure. So this is final. There's no way that you can appeal this. It's all over. We're getting rid of you because we're the oligarchs. We don't like your smart mouth. If you were in my shoes, do you find that to be a bit suspicious, Ateba said about the timing of Stripe's action? I don't have any evidence to accuse anyone, any particular person. No evidence, but the timing is a bit suspicious. Yeah, I have evidence, and they did it. So there you go. Wow. So they're coming for everybody. How many? I can do a segment like this a day. Every day there's a segment of someone else being deplatformed, censored, their money streams taken away. I can do one of these every day. And the Young Turks must be thrilled that censorship is everywhere now, because that's what they said would solve problems. Censorship. They must be thrilled.
They're as thrilled as they are fake upset about Julian Assange.
Hey, we're doing stand-up dates. Salt Lake City, Las Vegas, Chicago, Sacramento, and then San Diego, where I'm taping my new special. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all the tickets for all our live shows. We're coming to your town, maybe.